Tricky, isn't it, when you've made a big box office selling product? It's sold around the world, it's made the company a lot of money, and suddenly you're the darlings of that company. They love you suddenly. It's not really about whether you made a good product or not, it's the fact that they were able to sell it. Of course, we're talking about Meghan and Harry and how much they've now made for the streaming giant Netflix. Of course, it doesn't cover the mega deal that they've been offered on the original format. Most of those people that signed that deal, though, I have to tell you, have now moved on, but the contract stays, and that's now the biggest problem. You see, Netflix are becoming itchy once again for new product. This talk about the Invictus Games documentary doesn't exactly enthrall them, as did the executive produced business plan idea that they put out just after Christmas. It was an absolute box office bomb. Nobody was interested. Even the former New Zealand Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, slammed it, which didn't help matters at all. But now, as you can imagine, for Harry and Meghan, they have a problem. And the problem is them versus Netflix. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. And by the way, lovely history stuff, wasn't it, about Prince Charles? How dare he not want to spend the night at Speaker's house in Westminster? I mean, good idea when you think about it. I love finding out those nooks and crannies, though, about history, because, as I say, you walk past things and you've got no idea what's gone on many years before. And you kind of think, well, as the Speaker of the House, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, said when we went inside, there's nothing wrong with it. Why can't he stay here? Absolutely. Back as ever, though, to your breaking royal story of the day. You see, this story is getting a lot of traction. As you can imagine, if you're the executive directors of Netflix, you'd want to see some hard cash now, and you'd want to see some return for the mega deal that you've got. I mean, it's a bit like the Spotify thing that hangs in the balance. Meghan and Harry got off with a flying start. People wanted them. Everybody was willing to pay top dollar. Then they realized, of course, that seemingly they couldn't produce content. Hence the reason Spotify had to even provide them with producers around them. What's interesting now, we can tell you, is this. Netflix are becoming increasingly itchy. And this is the point where Meghan's brand new deal with the William Morris agency has to kick in. They have to come up with some product. The problem is that Netflix just want a repeat of what made a lot of money before. Another documentary from Harry and Meghan. An update, if you like, about where they are and what happens in spare release, all of that sort of stuff. Of course, it was filled, wasn't it, with bombshells of just, reality TV style stuff. The lady, Liz, who directed it, produced it, whatever, really knew what she was doing in making trash TV. And that's the problem. They've realized, Netflix, that what the public want from Harry and Meghan is simply trash TV. They jumped that animated series Pearl, and the Invictus, as I say, is getting a very lukewarm reception. A noble cause, but not exactly what they signed Harry and Meghan up for. Now, the bigger problem is this. Harry and Meghan have to decide whether they go down that route to get the remaining money of their contract, or do they come up with something even more spectacular, perhaps that they could make themselves, even just be executive producers on. My money is this. I'm betting on this, should I say, that Netflix don't care about executive producing. They simply want dirt, trash, to basically sell to the general public. It's almost like a tabloid magazine that you can't put down. And that's exactly what the docuseries was. And for Harry and Meghan, they're now into a very much a corner, because if you don't deliver that, then seemingly the next part of the contractual check, which comes through with millions of dollars, could be a little further down the line coming. As ever, it's a developing story, and when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.